Hello everybody, Bobby back here for Full Tilt Weather. I'm gonna do a little video today versus doing a lot of typing. Maybe I'm lazy, maybe I just ain't done a video in a while. But here we go. So, number one threat we have now what become Epson. No threat to the United States, never was. I was predicting that long term. The main reason being you have a high bracket right here from about Atlanta, Georgia, tracking all the way up into parts of Nova Scotia. It'll definitely turn. It don't have a choice, it'll turn. Some of the models were predicting it to be a little bit higher than a Cat 1. I'm kind of surprised the numbers are that low. But not much of a threat. Now it may affect the United Kingdom. This is pretty likely. They're gonna feel something off of it over the next week and a half. So let's move back to the United States' threats here. We have possible storm Zeta, tropical storm Zeta down here. Well, it's been trying to form up. We'll go ahead and run the satellite a couple of times. This is the active satellite. As you can see, right around the Cayman Islands, we have some rotation. Right here, actually quite a bit of it, couple of different cores. This is the next threat after Zed. 50-50 chance it becomes named. It probably gets ate by the high and goes up somewhere towards Europe. Not really that much of a threat. But as you can see, we still have Zed trying to form right here. Let's go ahead and look at what the American models think about it. So there's been there goes Epson. So there's Zed. Thinks it switches back. Gets hit by a rebounding high. Comes back into Florida. My problem with this is that's a lot of turns. So it fires over Cuba. 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. And there you go. And then turns again and land a 5th time. This has been a possible outcome for about a week now. That it gets all caught up in the Gulf and hits Florida. I'm going to be honest. I don't even think it'll come out on this track. I think it'll come out more towards the tip of Cuba. Primary area now has become Corpus Christi. All the way into South Carolina. Anywhere along this coast is possible now. The reason it thinks it'll turn, we'll get into that now. So we have this power low that is currently setting just north of Juneau, Alaska. Should be here in about 4 days, is what the models are thinking. Yeah, models are thinking Zed forms in the next 48 to 60 hours. So, breaks into a low here. Get a convective line. This is QCLS, convective linear line. Right here. Forms little highs under it. So we have this 1018, 1022, 26. This is all part of a high bracket that's just out of this model run. We'll bump it. And as you can see, it forms away from it. And you add this low here, which allows for open air. So it goes towards open air. Then whenever the low breaks away, you see another high form right here around Atlanta area. Hitting all the way into the majority of the United States at this point. If this model's right, the only area that would be capable of hit at that exact moment would be right through here. It's the only area of the United States that it would even be capable to hit. And that's pretty much just the southern Gulf. You move forward, tightens up, and there comes the center of the high bracket, right over Nebraska. Bending down, you have this forceful high over the northern part of America, which turns it back because you have this 1032 bracket coming over central Texas at this point. That's what turns it back into Florida. There's a lot of holes in this possibility, guys. I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of holes here. First thing I'm going to say, this is just common science. And anybody who lives on the Gulf knows this already and has seen it this year. Models have issues predicting one turn. I see why the models predict it. I get that. But whenever you start dealing with 4 or 5 turns, this is literally unpredictable. And I've been saying that for the last week, 2 weeks now. This is going to be the hardest sell to predict of the year. And the reason is because we're going through that equinox change. We're beginning to get snow across the United States. Snow means high. In most scenarios. Some snow is low, but in most scenarios that means you're going to have a lot of highs out there. And a lot of things are going a lot of different directions now due to this equinox change, as we're beginning to really cycle into the start of winter now. South Dakota, that area, north central part of the United States is beginning to see snow now. Another possibility here is whenever this line forms, as you can see, we have a lot of moisture here trapped. This could lead to some snow across the panhandle of Texas. It's possible. Could even lead to some all the way into Dallas, or wintry mix into Dallas. This is a possibility. And this is just next month. But some severe weather possible out of this is definitely going to be a likely outcome. As you see, we fold out right here. All this right here, some of this should be severe. Probably more Illinois, Missouri, eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, maybe North Texas. Probably if North Texas gets involved, you'll see northern Louisiana. They're the same topography. Anything that happens in northeast Texas usually happens just as bad, if not worse, headed into Shreveport area. It's just, that's just the way it works. They're the same topography area. But that is another possibility. See a snow output over Canada, over Colorado, not Canada. Headed into the panhandle of Texas, and then we fold out into a QCLS linear line, producing some severe weather. I think Zed's chances of getting the United States is pretty low, but definitely needs to continue to be monitored. Here's another issue we definitely dealing with. So these are water temperatures. All these numbers you're seeing are all water temperatures. Based from either ship observation like this one, buoy observation, or drilling well observation. You can see we have a really, really warm water down here in the Cayman Islands right now. And coming into the Gulf in a lot of ways have really heated up quite a bit over the since Delta left. So that'd be 2 weeks, something like that. Seeing all these 80s, 81s. Some people are going to say this is not enough water temperature to produce a hurricane. I disagree with that. Uh, you look at 2 years ago, Michael. Michael was able to do it in 81 degree temperatures. You look here across the Gulf, we're seeing relatively the same kind of numbers right now. The possibility of it getting in the Gulf and being a threat is still there. I do believe this will be one of the last ones of the year. I think we're pretty much folding up and getting done with hurricane season, moving into convective season. Looking here, this is the low that's projected to possibly move Z offline, and it's currently right around Juno. This low is going to be filing in behind the one we're having over the central part of the United States right now. What's a new one? What's that? Oh, freezing rain. They changed the icon this year. Cool. Didn't know there was an update to it. Been so long since I've seen freezing rain at not an icon I've seen a whole lot in the last 10 months. But then you add the other high right here that's breaking back. You have a low forming in front of that. As you can see, this is the cold front right here from around Jail, New Mexico to just south of 40 in Oklahoma. That would be around Clayton area, I believe, wouldn't it? North of there, Potee. Okay. So, looking at the temperature brackets, you can see this is the unaffected area to the south. This is the cold front. This is the Bering High. And this is the centralized cold portion, cold pool due to the low. And as you can see, snow observations, quite a bit of it. Minnesota, some 4-inch already being listed up there, or no, 3-inch basically. But all in all, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Definitely going to be a very interesting ordeal. That's got to be a glitch. 84.73 in the one water pool at 32. No way. That's a glitch. But that's kind of what we're looking at right there. This low right here is the most important thing right now, based with what Z will do. So these are the two things right now we're watching more than anything. Z and the Caymans, and this low around Juneau. Juneau, Alaska. And I don't know. There's a lot of different possibilities here. We'll see what happens. The only thing as a forecaster you can do is continue to just look at the possibility as it moves forward. But I really think we'll probably trend more towards a convective cycle. Another highly likely outcome would be this low right here has to form into a high over the next 48 hours. If Z can form through the day or over the next 48, it could easily get pushed out to the east of Miami and just kind of die out there in that super high. That's another possibility. Then this has become the three main possibilities. Most likely, I'm going to say I think we fold into a linear line here that creates convectivity. It gets pushed to the east. Number 2, the high brackets form up and just push it straight to the east before the linear line comes. And the number 3, most likely, I think is what the models are showing. That it forms up, because there's not really a lot that would push it here. I mean, you're dealing with 114s. It could move up to around Tampa Bay at this point. So, what actually pushes it over there? There's not a lot of shearing action going on there. because you had this cell behind it, so there's going to be turbulence behind that. You would think it would go the other way. That just makes sense from a common meteorology standpoint. Then that it gets up here and gets forced by the high back over. I'm just gonna say there's way too many turns and very suspicious activity from this run. This run has continued to come back over and over and over. I've seen it well over, let's say, 30 times possible. So you have to respect the possibility of it. I don't know. That's just very, very, very unlikely. But that's what we know right now. Or that's what I know. And everybody made it this far in the video and listened to me ramble. Thank you. I'll see y'all guys later.